All right, let's dive into this, shall we? We've got Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, updated and expanded.
A classic.
Yeah, and it's all about like this self-image thing
Yeah.
and how it's like the key to a better life.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild concept when you first hear it.
Yeah, it's like really just changing how I see myself can impact my success, happiness, even like my health.
That's what Maltz argues. And the cool thing is, it's not some fixed thing. This self-image, you can change it. It's like a blueprint you can rewrite.
So like not just some positive thinking mumbo jumbo, there's real science behind this.
Oh, absolutely. Maltz, he was a plastic surgeon,
Okay.
and he noticed something super interesting with his patients.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just their appearance that changed after facial surgery.
Oh.
Their personality shifted, too, their whole outlook.
Wow.
Like, it was like getting a mental makeover along with the physical one.
So changing the outside kind of led to changing the inside.
You got it. It made him think, what's really going on here?
Uh,
It's deeper than just skin deep.
but I'm guessing not every patient had like a total Cinderella transformation.
Right, not every single one. Some people, even with the outer changes, their inner self-image, it stayed negative.
Ah, I see.
So the real transformation, it wouldn't happen. Maltz even had a term for it, the mystery of imaginary ugliness,
Okay.
where someone, they believe they're flawed, even if objectively they're not. And it affects how they act, how they live their life.
So it's almost like those mental scars, they can be even deeper than physical ones.
Exactly. And just like with physical healing, sometimes to really heal, you got to address the root cause, the mental image.
So how does this tie into, the self-image stuff?
Well, there's this crazy story in the book
Okay.
about this man. He literally aged 20 years, like overnight.
Wait, what? Seriously, how is that even?
It was because of a voodoo curse.
No way! Just from believing he was cursed.
That's the power of belief.
What?
It's mind-blowing. It shows how our mental state and our physical state, they're totally intertwined. If your mind is convinced of something, your body, it often follows suit.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking serious power here. But, if our self-image isn't doing us any favors, how do we actually change it? Where do we start?
Maltz, he lays out a whole system in the book, but one of the coolest tools, I think, is imagination.
Imagination.
He calls it the first key to unlocking this, success mechanism we all have inside.
Ooh, I like that. So we're talking like daydreaming our way to success.
It's more than just daydreaming. The idea is your nervous system, it can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one.
Okay.
So if you mentally practice something over and over, your brain starts wiring itself for it,
Interesting.
like you actually did it.
So it's like those studies with people like getting better at dart throwing just by visualizing it?
Exactly. There's real science to back it up.
Whoa.
Even Capablanca, the chess champion, he lost to Alekhine.
Hmm.
And you want to know why?
Yeah, tell me.
Alekhine, he mentally rehearsed every possible game scenario beforehand.
Wow. So he was totally prepared.
For anything, yeah. So it's not just about physical practice, but mental rehearsal too.
Like a secret weapon for anything you want to achieve.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Picture yourself like giving that killer presentation, acing that job interview, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Feel the emotions, the confidence, the success.
Yeah.
Your brain, it'll start believing it's already happened.
Okay, I'm on board. But what about all those limiting beliefs we have? It's like even when you're trying to be positive, those doubts creep in.
We all have them. Those inner voices telling us we're not good enough or we'll never achieve that.
Oh, yeah.
They're like hypnotic suggestions running in the background, influencing us without us even realizing it.
Yeah, I know those voices all too well. So how do we de-hypnotize ourselves?
First, you got to recognize those beliefs for what they are. False narratives. Stuff we've internalized,
Okay.
Dr. Alfred Adler,
Yeah.
famous psychotherapist. He was terrible at math as a kid.
Mm,
His teacher, she kept calling him dumb. He believed it, so his grades, they tanked.
makes sense.
But then one day, he had this epiphany. He solved this problem nobody else could.
So he proved everyone wrong.
And himself.
Mm.
It shattered that limiting belief, and guess what?
What?
He excelled in math from then on.
Wow.
It shows how powerful our beliefs are,
Yeah.
But also we can challenge them, replace them.
It's like we're not stuck with those old stories.
We can rewrite the script.
So positive thinking is important.
Huge.
But I'm sensing there's more to it.
Yeah, positive thinking is important, but it's not the only thing. Rational thinking, that's crucial too.
So it's not about ignoring problems, just being like, Pollyanna.
Right.
Okay, good.
Rational thinking, it helps us evaluate information. challenge those false beliefs,
Yeah.
make smart decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here's the thing.
Mm.
It's not always the best problem solver.
Wait, really? So you're saying our conscious mind isn't always the one calling the shots?
You ever get stuck on a problem? Then boom, the solution just pops up out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, all the time.
While you're like in the shower or something.
Yeah, it's like a mess.
That's your creative mechanism at work.
Okay.
It's most effective when we like give it a clear goal and then just let go. Trust our subconscious to work its magic.
It's like planting a seed. You wouldn't keep digging it up to check if it sprouted.
Right. Exactly. You got to trust the process. Even geniuses like Edison, Priestley, Beecher, they all tapped into this subconscious power.
That's so cool. It's like we've got this superpower just waiting to be unleashed.
Yeah, learning to harness that's one of the most amazing things you can do.
So we've got self-image, imagination, rational thinking. Anything else?
Oh, we're just scratching the surface. There's a whole lot more to explore in this deep dive.
I'm already hooked. This is good stuff.
It is, right? And speaking of good stuff, let's talk about something we all crave. Happiness.
Ooh, okay, yeah, let's talk about happiness. That's something I think we could all use a little more of. But is it really something we can control? Or is it just, luck of the draw?
That's where Psycho-Cybernetics gets really interesting. It says happiness isn't something that just happens to us.
Okay.
It's an inside job.
So we're not just at the mercy of, external events. We have some say in the matter.
Absolutely. You know that great Abraham Lincoln quote?
I love a good quote.
He said, "Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be."
That's deep.
It all comes back to our thoughts, our attitudes,
Yeah.
and ultimately our self-image.
Okay.
So a positive self-image, it makes us more likely to choose happy thoughts, happy actions.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that leads us to a key concept, healthy-mindedness.
Healthy-mindedness. What's that all about?
It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's
Okay.
about choosing to focus on the positive in any situation.
Okay.
Let's say you have a setback at work. Instead of dwelling on the negative, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What new opportunities might this open up?
So it's about reframing challenges as opportunities for growth.
You got it. It's like looking for those silver linings. And did you know this positive outlook, it even impacts our physical health?
Right, really. There's a link between happiness and our physical well-being.
Oh, absolutely. Remember that proverb, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth up the bones.
Yeah.
That ancient wisdom, modern research is backing it up. Our emotional well-being, it's like medicine for our bodies.
So choosing to be happier can actually boost our health.
Pretty amazing, right?
It is. It's like we have this incredible power to shape not just our minds, but our bodies too.
Exactly. And Maltz gives us some really practical tips for cultivating that happier mindset.
Ooh, like what?
Well, practicing healthy-mindedness, like we talked about. Reacting calmly to challenges.
Instead of freaking out.
Exactly. Seeing them as opportunities, not threats.
Okay.
And consciously replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones.
Like retraining our brains to focus on the good.
You got it. It all ties back to taking control of our minds.
Yeah, that's a big theme here for sure. But I'm sensing there's a bigger picture emerging here too.
What do you mean?
It feels like this whole psycho-cybernetics thing, it's about more than just happiness. It's about unlocking our true potential, becoming the best versions of ourselves.
You're spot on. Maltz believes that our personalities, they're not fixed. They're expressions of our real selves, just waiting to be set free.
I love that. So how do we unleash that authentic self?
It starts by challenging those old patterns, those limiting beliefs that hold us back.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Right. We need to give ourselves permission to be more spontaneous, more authentic, less self-critical.
Okay.
Maltz calls it disinhibition.
Disinhibition. I like that. So it's about worrying less about what others think and being more in tune with our own instincts.
You got it. There's this funny story Maltz tells about this businessman who was super self-conscious about his table manners, especially in fancy restaurants.
Oh, yeah, I think we've all been there.
Right. Well, he finally realized he was just putting on an act, trying to impress people. So he decided to pretend he was just eating with his family, where he felt comfortable.
Makes sense. And what happened?
He relaxed. He actually enjoyed the meal. And he discovered his true self was actually pretty charming.
So sometimes we just got to let go of those masks we wear.
Exactly. And that's when the magic happens.
So we need to work on this disinhibition thing. Let go of the old patterns and let our true personalities shine.
Absolutely.
But what about when the pressure's on? Like when we really feel tested?
That's another fascinating part of Psycho-Cybernetics, how to thrive in crisis. Some people, they crumble under pressure. Others, they rise to the occasion.
I want to be one of those people who rises to the occasion.
Maltz says the key is threefold. 1, practice without pressure.
Oh, that makes sense.
Build your skills, build your confidence in a safe environment.
Oh, okay.
So when the heat is on, you can rely on that muscle memory.
So it's like training for a marathon, right? You wouldn't just show up on race day without any preparation.
Exactly. 2, adopt an aggressive, goal-oriented attitude. Focus on the challenge, not the threat.
Okay.
And 3, keep things in perspective. Don't catastrophize. Don't let anxiety take over.
It's about mastering our mindset, even in the face of adversity.
You got it.
Yeah.
And that example Maltz gives about John Thomas, the high jumper.
Yeah.
He consistently performed better in competition than in practice.
Wow, really?
He actually learned to use that pressure to his advantage.
So we don't have to be victims of stress. We can train ourselves to thrive under it.
Exactly. But we're not quite done yet. There's one more crucial piece to this puzzle.
Oh, there's more. Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Purpose and meaning.
Purpose and meaning. Okay, yeah. That feels important. But how do we find that? It's such a big question.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Remember that professional speaker we talked about before?
The one who was feeling all burned out from traveling?
Yeah. He found his spark again by setting this goal to play golf on a famous course in every state.
That's right, and he was so much happier.
It wasn't about some big world-changing mission. It was just about connecting with something he loved. Gave him a reason to keep exploring.
That's a good point. Purpose doesn't have to be this big, serious thing.
It could be fun. Something that lights you up, gets you excited about life.
So it's about paying attention to those things that give us energy, those moments when we feel truly alive.
Exactly. And once you find those sparks, don't let them fizzle out. Pursue them. It might take some experimenting, but that's all part of the journey.
I love that. It's like we all have this inner compass.
We do.
But sometimes we forget to listen to it. Or maybe we let other people's expectations drown out our own inner voice.
That's so true. And that's where Psycho-Cybernetics comes in. It's about taking back that control, shaping our self-image, our lives to match our true purpose.
I'm telling you, this is powerful stuff.
It is. And believe it or not, there's even more to uncover.
There's more. Oh man, I'm ready for it. Bring it on.
Psycho-Cybernetics goes deep into practical ways to use these principles, like every day.
Okay, yeah, let's get practical.
Let's dive into those strategies for building that positive self-image we've been talking about. It's not just about wishful thinking. Maltz gives us concrete steps we can take to reshape our mental blueprint.
Okay, let's hear those steps. I'm ready to take notes.
First things first, setting clear goals.
Goals, okay, yeah, that's important.
But not just any old goals. These goals, they got to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
So none of this I want to be happier stuff.
Nope. Vague goals lead to vague results. So instead of, I want to be happier, you might say, I want to start each day with a gratitude practice. Or, I want to spend more time doing things that bring me joy.
Ah, I see. So get specific. Break it down.
Exactly. And when your goals are lined up with your values, your purpose, it's like this endless source of motivation.
It's like you're not just going through the motions, you're working towards something that matters.
You got it. And that's where the magic happens. But setting goals, that's just the first step. You got to take action too. Put in the work.
So it's not enough to just dream big. We got to actually do something.
Right. But here's the catch. Action without belief, it's like a car without gas.
It's not going to get you very far.
Nope. That's why believing in yourself is so crucial. Believing you can achieve those goals.
So that self-image we talked about earlier, it's like the foundation for everything else.
You got it. If you don't believe in yourself, taking action, overcoming obstacles, it's going to be so much harder.
That's a really good point. But what if you're struggling with self-doubt? Those limiting beliefs just keep popping up.
That's where the work of Psycho-Cybernetics comes in. Maltz gives us a whole toolbox of techniques to challenge those negative beliefs.
A toolbox, I like that. So what's in this toolbox? What are some of these techniques?
One powerful one is called rational emotive therapy.
Okay.
You basically identify those irrational beliefs that are driving your negative emotions and then challenge them with logic, with evidence.
So use your brain to overcome your feelings.
In a way, yeah. It's about recognizing that our thoughts, they're not always accurate. you know.
Oh, yeah, they can definitely lie to us sometimes.
Sometimes our emotions, they're based on like faulty assumptions, outdated beliefs.
That's true.
So once you start questioning those negative beliefs, you can start replacing them with more positive, more empowering ones.
So it's not about denying our emotions. It's more like understanding them and then choosing a different way to react.
Exactly. And Maltz emphasizes this is an ongoing process.
It's not a one-time fix.
It's about consistently choosing to focus on the positive, challenging the negative thoughts, and building that belief in yourself.
It's almost like we're training our minds like we would train our bodies at the gym.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
And just like with physical fitness, the more you practice, the stronger you get.
So how does all this tie into the idea of success? Does Psycho-Cybernetics have anything to say about achieving success in different areas of our lives?
Oh, absolutely. Maltz believes these principles apply anywhere you want to succeed. Career, relationships, health, hobbies, doesn't matter. The same principles apply.
So it's like a universal formula for success.
More like a set of tools,
Yeah.
and how you use those tools, well, depends on your goals, your circumstances.
Yeah.
But the foundation's always the same. Positive self-image, belief in yourself, and taking action.
I like that. It's not about following a rigid set of rules. It's about adapting those principles to your own life.
Exactly. That's what makes Psycho-Cybernetics so powerful. It gives you the tools to define your own version of success and then achieve it on your terms.
I am loving this conversation.
Me too.
It's like this light bulb moment, realizing we all have this amazing potential inside of us.
We do.
But sometimes we need a little guidance to unlock it, and Psycho-Cybernetics, it gives us that roadmap, those tools, the insights.
You nailed it. And speaking of unlocking potential, let's talk about another key aspect of Psycho-Cybernetics, the power of visualization.
Ooh, visualization. I've heard about this, but I'm a little skeptical, to be honest.
I get it. It sounds a little woo-woo, but
Yeah.
it's a powerful tool for shaping your self-image and achieving your goals. Remember, our nervous system can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one.
So when you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain starts to believe it's possible.
Exactly. But it's not just about seeing it in your mind,
Right.
You got to engage all your senses: sight, sound, touch, even smell and taste.
Wow, okay.
The more vivid, the more realistic the visualization, the more powerful it is.
So it's like we're creating this virtual reality experience in our minds.
Exactly. And when you do this consistently, you're essentially programming your subconscious for success. You're creating those neural pathways.
It is like we're rewiring our brains for
Yeah.
success.
Exactly. But you mentioned earlier you were skeptical.
Well, yeah, it sounds a little like magic.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But there's real science behind this. Studies have shown that visualization actually improves performance in all kinds of areas, from sports to music to public speaking.
So it's not just some new age thing.
Nope. It's backed by research. And it makes sense, when you think about how our brains work. They're constantly making predictions about the future based on our past experiences.
Yeah.
So when you visualize yourself succeeding, you're creating this new past experience that your brain can draw on.
So we're like rewriting our own history to create a more successful future.
You got it. And that brings us to another powerful tool: affirmations.
Affirmations. I've heard of those, but I'm not sure I really believe in them. They seem like just, empty words.
They can be if you don't use them right. But when you use affirmations effectively, they can be a powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious, shaping your self-image.
Okay, so how do we use them effectively?
The key is your affirmations, they got to be positive, specific, and believable. And then you got to repeat them regularly with conviction, with
Yeah.
emotion.
So it's not just about mindlessly repeating some positive phrases.
Look, you got to feel it. Really feel the emotion behind the words. Imagine you've already achieved that goal. Feel the joy, the gratitude.
So it's kind of like visualization combined with positive self-talk.
You got it. And the more you do this, the more your subconscious starts to believe it's true.
And our beliefs shape our reality.
Exactly. But there's one more thing. It's crucial for all this to work: relaxation.
Relaxation. I wouldn't have thought that was so important.
It's essential. When we're stressed, anxious, our minds, they're not receptive to new information, to those positive suggestions.
It's like when you're trying to study for a test and you're all stressed out, you can't focus.
Exactly. And it's the same with, reprogramming our subconscious. We need to create a state of calm.
Receptivity.
Yes. So how do we do that? Well, there are tons of different relaxation techniques: deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, mindfulness.
Those are all great ideas.
And the more you practice them, the easier it becomes to relax, to get into that calm, receptive state whenever you need it.
Wow. This has been quite the exploration. I feel like I'm starting to understand how all these pieces fit together.
Me too.
Right.
And we're just getting started. Psycho-Cybernetics goes even deeper.
I'm ready for more. Let's do it. All right, more Psycho-Cybernetics. Let's talk more about this whole purpose and meaning thing. It's like the big picture, right? The thing that gives our lives direction.
It's huge, yeah. And Maltz, he's all about it in the book. Think of purpose as your internal compass. It helps you navigate life, gives you that why behind everything you do.
But finding that purpose, it can feel kind of daunting, you know?
It can, for sure.
Like, where do you even start?
Right. Remember that speaker we talked about?
The one who was all burned out?
Yeah, from all the traveling. He rediscovered his passion, remember?
Yeah, he decided to play golf, like on all these famous courses in every state.
Exactly. And it wasn't about finding some big world-changing mission. It was about connecting with something that brought him joy.
Yeah.
Gave him a reason to keep going.
So purpose doesn't have to be this super serious thing.
Nope. It can be fun, something that sparks your curiosity, makes you excited about life.
So it's about paying attention to what lights us up.
Yes. Those moments when you feel truly alive, engaged, those are clues.
And then what? Like, follow those clues.
Exactly. Fan the flames. Pursue those things with passion. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things. You know, it's a journey.
This is really making me think. It's like we all have this inner compass,
To do.
but we don't always listen to it.
It's easy to get distracted.
Yeah, and sometimes I think we let other people's expectations, like, drown out our own inner voice.
It happens all the time. And that's where Psycho-Cybernetics comes in. It's about taking back that control, creating a life that's truly aligned with who you are, with your purpose.
I'm loving this conversation. Seriously, I feel like I'm seeing things differently now. Like myself, the world, everything.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. And believe it or not, there's even more to discover.
Bring it on.
Psycho-Cybernetics, it goes deep into, like, practical techniques, ways to apply this stuff in real life.
Okay, yeah, let's get practical. How do we actually do this stuff?
Let's talk about how to build that positive self-image.
Yeah.
It's not just about wishing and hoping. Maltz, he gives us concrete steps.
Ooh, I like concrete steps. Give me those steps.
All right, step 1. Set clear goals.
Goals. Okay, yeah. Seems pretty straightforward.
It is, but you got to be specific. Not just, I want to be successful.
Right.
Those goals, they got to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
So no more, I want to be happy or I want to be rich. We got to get laser focused.
Exactly. Vague goals get you vague results. Instead of, I want to be happier, you might say, I'm going to start each day by writing down 3 things I'm grateful for.
Ah, I see.
Or I'm going to spend an hour every week doing something I really enjoy.
So break those big goals down into bite-sized pieces.
Yes. And when you set goals that really resonate with you, that match your values, your purpose, that's when you tap into this amazing source of motivation. You're not just going through the motions anymore.
You're driven.
You're working towards something that matters. That's where the magic happens. But setting goals, it's just the beginning. You got to take action too. Put in the work.
No, dreaming big is great, but we got to actually do something.
You got it. But there's a catch. Action without belief. It's like a car without gas. You're not going to get very far.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
You got to have that fuel. And that fuel is belief in yourself. Believing that you can actually achieve those goals.
So that self-image we talked about, it's like the key to it all.
It's the foundation. If you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be so much harder to take action, to overcome those obstacles, to achieve those goals.
But what if you're like drowning in self-doubt? What if those limiting beliefs just keep holding you back?
That's where Psycho-Cybernetics shines. Maltz gives us a whole toolbox of techniques to fight back, to challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with empowering ones.
Toolbox, I like that. Tell me more about these tools.
One of the most powerful ones is called rational emotive therapy. Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
It's all about identifying the irrational beliefs that are driving those negative emotions. And then you use logic and evidence to challenge those beliefs.
So it's about using your head to, like, overpower your heart.
In a way, yeah. It's about recognizing that our thoughts aren't always accurate. Sometimes our emotions are based on, like, faulty assumptions or stuff we believe that just isn't true anymore.
Oh, I know all about that.
So once you start questioning those negative beliefs, you can start replacing them with more positive ones, more empowering ones.
So it's not about ignoring your emotions. It's more about understanding them and then choosing a different way to react.
Exactly. And Maltz, he emphasizes This is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time
That's
fix.
like a lifelong practice.
It's about consistently choosing to focus on the positive, challenging those negative thoughts, and really cultivating that belief in yourself.
It's like we're training our minds. Like we train our bodies at the gym.
Perfect analogy. And just like with physical fitness, the more you work at it, the stronger you become.
So how does all this tie back to the idea of success? Does Psycho-Cybernetics have anything specific to say about achieving success in different areas of our lives?
Oh, absolutely. Maltz, he believes these principles can be applied anywhere. Career, relationships, health, hobbies, it doesn't matter. Same principles.
So it's like a universal formula for success.
It's more like a set of universal tools, and how you use those tools will depend on your individual goals, your circumstances. But the foundation is always the same. Positive self-image, belief in yourself, and taking action.
I love that. It's not about following one rigid path. It's about adapting these principles to your own unique situation.
Exactly. That's what makes Psycho-Cybernetics so empowering. It gives you the tools to define what success means to you, and then go after it.
I am so into this.
Me too.
It's like this big aha moment, realizing we all have this incredible potential inside us.
We do. It's there, waiting to be unleashed.
But sometimes we need a little help figuring out how to unlock it.
It can be tricky, yeah.
In this book, it's like a roadmap. It gives us the tools, the insights to tap into that potential.
Yes. It's a guidebook.
Yeah.
And speaking of unlocking potential, you want to talk about another key aspect of Psycho-Cybernetics.
Hit me with it.
Visualization.
Visualization. Okay, yeah, I've heard about this, but to be honest, I'm a little skeptical. It sounds a little too good to be true.
I hear you. A lot of people feel that way at first.
It's like just thinking about something can make it happen, really.
It's not quite that simple. But remember, our nervous system, it can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one.
Okay, yeah, we talked about that before.
So when you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain starts to believe it's possible.
So it's like making a movie in your mind where you achieve your goals.
Exactly. But it's more than just seeing it. You got to involve all your senses. Sight, sound, touch, even smell and taste.
Oh, really get into it.
The more real it feels, the more powerful it is.
It's like we're creating our own virtual reality experience.
Yes. And when you do that consistently, you're basically programming your subconscious for success. You're literally creating neural pathways in your brain.
So we're rewiring our brains for success.
Exactly. And you said earlier you were a bit skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little magical, like too good to be true.
I know, right? But the cool thing is there's real science behind it. Studies have actually shown that visualization can improve performance in a lot of areas. Sports, music, public speaking, you name it.
So it's not just some new age woo-woo thing.
Nope, it's backed by research. And it makes sense when you think about how our brains work. They're always making predictions about the future based on our past experiences. So when you visualize yourself succeeding, you're essentially creating a new past experience for your brain to draw on.
So we're rewriting our own history to create a better future.
Exactly. And that brings us to another powerful tool, affirmations.
Affirmations. Yeah, I've heard of those, but I've always been a little unsure about them. Aren't they just like empty words?
They can be,
Yeah.
if you don't use them right. But when they're used effectively, they can be incredibly powerful. Like for reprogramming your subconscious mind, shaping your self-image.
Okay, I'm listening. How do we use them effectively? What's the secret?
The key is to choose affirmations that are positive, specific, and believable. And then you need to repeat them regularly with conviction, with emotion.
So it's not just about mindlessly chanting some feel-good phrases.
Exactly. You got to feel it. You got to believe it. Really feel the emotion behind the words. Imagine that you've already achieved what you're affirming. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of accomplishment.
So it's like a combination of visualization and positive self-talk.
You got it. And the more you do this, the more your subconscious starts to believe that it's true.
And our beliefs, they shape our reality.
Exactly. But there's one more crucial ingredient we haven't talked about yet.
Ooh, what's that? Don't leave me hanging. Relaxation. Why is that so important? I wouldn't have guessed that one.
It's essential because when we're stressed out, when our minds are racing, they're not as receptive to new information, to those positive suggestions we're trying to plant.
That makes sense. It's like when you're trying to study for a big test and you're all stressed out, you can't focus.
Exactly. It's the same with reprogramming our subconscious minds.
Yeah.
We need to be in a state of calm, of receptivity.
So how do we do that? Give me some tips.
There are lots of techniques that work. deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, mindfulness.
Those are all great ideas, and they're all things we can easily incorporate into our daily routine.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to relax, to access that state of calm whenever you need it.
Wow. We've covered so much ground already, from the power of self-image to setting goals to visualization, affirmations, and now relaxation. It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's all connected. It's all part of the Psycho-Cybernetics framework.
And I'm loving it. I'm feeling so much more empowered, more optimistic, more, I don't know, hopeful about my own potential.
That's fantastic to hear. And believe it or not, there's still more to explore in Psycho-Cybernetics. We've only just scratched the surface.
Oh man, I'm ready for more. Bring it on. Okay, Psycho-Cybernetics, Part 3. We've talked about imagination, relaxation, all kinds of cool stuff. What else is there?
We've covered a lot of ground, for sure. Lots of tools for, personal transformation, But before we wrap up, I got to mention one more thing. A crucial part of Psycho-Cybernetics.
Okay, lay it on me. What's this crucial thing?
Maltz calls it the success mechanism.
The success mechanism. Ooh, that sounds kind of mysterious. What is that exactly?
It's basically the ability we all have inside us to achieve our goals, to live a fulfilling life.
So you're saying we're all hardwired for success.
That's the whole idea behind Psycho-Cybernetics. Success is our natural state. It's like built into our DNA, But sometimes we get in our own way.
Yeah, we can be our own worst enemies sometimes.
With those negative beliefs, those limiting self-images, the fear of failure.
We sabotage ourselves without even realizing it.
Exactly. And that's where Psycho-Cybernetics comes in. It helps us clear the path, get rid of those roadblocks, and tap into that potential that's already there.
So we're all born with this amazing potential, but we got to learn how to unlock it.
Exactly. And the key to that, it's all about understanding how our minds work. Remember, our thoughts, they create our reality. So if we want to change our reality, got to change our thoughts.
It all comes back to self-image, right? If you don't believe you can do something, you probably won't.
Exactly. And the success mechanism, it kicks in when our self-image is aligned with our goals. When we believe we're capable, we naturally start taking the steps to make it happen.
Well, it's like we create our own success.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's one more ingredient, action.
So it's not enough to just think positive thoughts and visualize.
Nope. You got to take action. Belief without action is like a seed without water.
It's not going to grow.
It might have potential, but it needs the right conditions to sprout.
So it's about taking those steps, moving towards our goals, even if they're small steps.
Exactly. And here's the best part. When you start taking action, it actually strengthens your belief in yourself.
So the more you do, the more you believe you can do.
You start seeing that you're capable, that you can overcome challenges, that you can achieve those goals. It's a beautiful cycle.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. That's what keeps the success mechanism going strong.
Okay, this is all starting to click for me now. I'm feeling pretty fired up, ready to put all this into action.
That's awesome. And remember, Psycho-Cybernetics, it's a journey, not a destination. There'll be bumps in the road.
Setbacks, challenges.
The important thing is to keep learning, keep growing, keep believing in yourself.
It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress.
Yes.
Yes.
And Psycho-Cybernetics, it gives you that framework to make progress, to become your best self.
This deep dive has been mind-blowing. I'm feeling so much more empowered, so optimistic about what's possible.
Me too. It's always inspiring to dive into this stuff.
So to our listeners, if you're ready to embark on your own journey of self-discovery and transformation, I highly recommend checking out Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a classic for a reason.
Full of wisdom and practical techniques, it can really make a difference in your life.
And remember, the power to create the life you want, it's all in your hands.
Absolutely. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration.